foundation, Stop the Occupation. And I started 12 years ago. I even met Hazala. And so the trip for me was very easy because I know the way. And I was here after the summer rain war for a week. And I've been in Gaza, I've been in Israel, everywhere. And I came here because it's very important for me, Jerusalem and the Palestinians. And we start with Jerusalem because it's the capital and a monotheistic place for all people, for Muslims, for Christians and Jews. So it's important.
Of course, the Muslims and the Christians and even the Jews say that Jerusalem is a land for the major Abrahamic religions, for all the religions, of course. But when you went there, did you see that people were able to live equally, or has there been displacement?
Not at all. It's an apartheid system. It's colonialism. It's Judaism, and I'm not even allowed to go to Israel, to the West Bank anymore, because Israel sends me back straight away. So the only place I can come now, it's horrible, and Europe should absolutely now fight for the Palestinians, because they are suffering so much and so long, that it's a shame that we have so many right-wing countries like mine. And they are all pro-Israel, and it has to stop. They have stolen the land of the Palestinians. And like she said before, it's true that we wanted to march and we wanted to show to the Palestinian people that we are with them. I know they could not come out of the refugee camps. We wanted to go there. We go there tomorrow then, because we wanted to show them that we really are with them and that we never will stop helping them, fighting for them in every way.
Do you think that Western countries could perhaps change their position on their support for Israel, since they have been isolated in this, and since they have always supported Israel, even when it was launching wars against the Palestinians? Do you think that with people like you, your move and support for the Palestinians, that we would see a transformation in Western policies?
Well, actually, because there are many, the Jews are always talking about the Holocaust. So they have been suffering all the time. And whenever I started my foundation, I was an anti-Semite, of course, and I was everything. I'm even a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, to say. But we, at the moment, have a very right-wing government. And we have an Israeli foreign minister of foreign affairs. So it's, and Wilders, have you ever heard of him? He's absolutely against Muslims. So it's a struggle for me to do it. But still, I feel that the people and the group are growing and getting more involved in knowing what is happening here. So that's important. They are more aware of the injustice and the apartheid system. And the Higher Court of Justice has said that all the settlements, the wall, the right of return is important, that they should implement all VN resolutions. They never do it. They just go on. They get the money from Holland, they get the money from America. If they destroy Beirut, who is going to pay for building it up? Not Israel. They should do it. Gaza, exactly the same. So it's ridiculous, and I can't imagine that people are so dumb, that are so short-sighted, that they don't notice that, and just say, oh, who cares, I live like that, I don't that.
Do you think that change should start with the media? I mean, I've heard it from many of the Western activists here saying that when they used to listen to the media back home, it was a totally different picture. It's actually the opposite of what they see here. They see the Palestinian people actually struggling and in a crisis.
Yes, that's true, because the media are not very honest, like you know. They only want to show what the people say and what the people read. So if I come and I give talks, and most of the time with PowerPoint presentations, I always show the pictures, and they say, no, is it that so? Is it that? Yeah, so it's that bad. So it's important that I take as many pictures, and I put them on a CD, DVD, and I show it. And then students, mainly students also, they are so happy in the city. We didn't know that. We didn't know that. So that's important. We have to continue. And I also give a lot of speeches in the Arab world. And then I can tell how Holland is. So it's important to know from each other, but in the Palestinians' heart, how they are suffering.
Thank you very much for being with us on Press TV. And
so glad you exist because I can receive it at home in Amsterdam.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, great. That's wonderful. That was one of the Western activists taking part in the global march to Jerusalem here in Arnoun in South Lebanon. Of course, as you can see, hundreds, some thousands perhaps of people, Palestinian refugees, Western, Asian activists, all taking part in this global march. It seems to be gaining momentum year by year. And of course, we might see a grand protest also on the day of return in May, and hopefully, of course, people here hope that it would gain more support from the international arena, and many of them have censored what the Arab Summit has spoken of. They have been very weak in supporting the Palestinian cause, and of course standing strong against what is happening inside Gaza and in Jerusalem. Many people here fear that there could be an erase of the Muslim, Islamic, and Christian sites. This is some of the things that many people fear. You have a lot of the refugees here in Lebanon that are Palestinian Christians. They had to leave, of course, their homeland in Alquds and other areas where they used to live, and of course still believe that they have to return to Palestine. Almost hundreds of thousands of Palestinian Christians had to leave Alquds specifically, and fear that they could lose their homeland if they do not gain enough support from the Arab world and Western powers. Back to you.